Aston Villa, what are you doing to me, man? What are you doing to me? Somebody needs to investigate exactly what Unai Emery is cooking at Aston Villa, because they've been linked and possibly about to announce a signing of a diamond in the rough. That's right, Aston Villa are set to announce the signing of young Colombian 19-year-old. But I'm here today to tell you what to expect from the young Colombian, his strengths, weaknesses, and his style of play. So if you are returning for another episode, or if you're new here, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on another scout report in the future. Because let's be honest, the way Aston Villa are going at the moment, there's going to be many more. So as I've just mentioned, Mosquera is a young Colombian. He's currently playing for Colombia under 20s, but his club team is also Marso in the second division of Colombia football. Since his introduction to senior football, Mosquera hasn't looked back. He's taken his claim permanent position in the side. And this is just furthering enhancing his development. The 19-year-old has become one of the first names on the team sheet, showing his sustainability and brilliant and adaptation, playing both at right centre-back and left centre-back. After just nearly a year in senior football, the young Colombian already been targeted with a move to Europe, but how's he got to this point? Now, I need to make it clear there's limited statistics to go from, but let's begin with his defensive output. Mosquera brings a calmness and composure in abundance to his team's defence. He's extremely comfortable in possession, and he's confident in his ability to retain control of situations whenever he's exposed. Imposing figure at the heart of defence, and he's one who's very rarely beaten in physical duels. Standing at 6'3", he's got good athleticism, he's got a good wingspan, he's got decent pace. He's not the most rapid defender, but he's definitely not the most sluggish defender. But it's his athleticism and his agility that stand out the most. Like I mentioned earlier, his adaptation is brilliant. Despite being left-footed, he's played both left centre-back and right centre-back. And to be honest, his positioning is one of his greatest strengths. Very rarely will you see Mosquera caught out position or trying to run back, flustered, trying to catch up with play. And because of his exceptional positioning, he's almost never ever forced to go down to ground and make a tackle. He's always alert to deal with nearby threats. This gives him a solid base to work with when you combine that with his physical attributes. And even through the clips that you're watching at the moment, you can notice he's very tentative. He's constantly checking his nearby surroundings. This level of scanning is very rare in a young defender, and this ensures that he knows where to be situated in relation to his opponents and his teammates. This allows him to make great decisions on whether he needs to shift across the defensive line, tuck in closer to his defensive partner, push up and being assertive and attack the ball, or drop back and cover space. Anticipates danger extremely well, and this enhances his judgment on whether he needs to push towards the ball and steal the ball away, or just be patient in his defending. In general sense, centre-backs tend to be two types of defenders: those who actively try and defend and be assertive and push up, or those who hold off, be patient and jockey their opponent. Well, Mosquera has a little bit of both, and what impresses me the most is how frequently he gets his decisions right. And this highlights his impressive anticipation. This ensures he spots moments when to engage to opponent or when to step out and win the ball. Mosquera is also smart in duels. He often anticipates and tries to get ahead of opponents, not to battle for the ball, but instead make smart ball recoveries. His composure is one of his biggest attributes, and he's very, very rarely flustered. If an attacker manages to get the ball under control, this is where he likes to get touch tight to his opponent, and he'll hold on to them to ensure that the play is forced away from goal. One of his prominent techniques in these situations involves him wrapping his legs around the opponent and almost poking the ball away. This is extremely effective when opponents try and receive on half turn, and even if they do manage to turn, his agility and his athleticism counteract it. And the way he does this is by regularly making adjustments to his stance. This allows him to move vertically, laterally, or diagonally to deal with movements of opponents. You'll often see him doing this under longer balls, especially when an opponent is backing into him. He doesn't mind getting touch tight and being physical. This just ensures that the opponent can't turn freely or create any separation from him. This also impedes the opponent's ability to gather any momentum in the attack. And someone's 6'3", strong, quick, and reacts quite well, he unsurprisingly holds his own in both duels on the ground and in the air. But one of my favourite things about him is that his defensive excellence hinges on precise positioning and strategic timing. Rather than lunging in and exposing himself and allowing the defender to control him, he controls the defender and waits for a mistake before pinching the ball. For a lad such inexperienced, his concentration levels and his reading of the game are nothing short of spectacular. An attacker's got his back to goal and trying to hold up play. This is when you'll see him getting touch tight, and this is where he uses his size and his athletic build to defend at all costs. When he's defending against an onrushing opponent or a dribbler, if you like, this is where he regularly keeps his eye on the ball, and you can see him concentrated on the ball before he just times his tackles so impressively. This makes him an absolute force in one-on-one defending. He's extremely clever in the way he defends. When left one-on-one with an opponent, he adopts a low body position, which is correct. He jockeys opponents and waits for the right moment to use a step tackle. It's kind of like he holds his own ground and waits for the attacker to approach him before just snipping the ball away at the right moment. If the opponent does manage to slip the ball around him, you can see he's quick to react and adjust. And this allows him to make use of those long strides. In these situations, he's really skilled at poking the ball away or using his upper body strength to maneuver our opponents off the ball. He only uses these jockeying style when he's in his defensive third and he's got teammates around him. When he's higher up the pitch, in the middle third, or when he's inside his box, he adopts a different technique. It's more of a reactive approach, trying to win the ball and applying pressure. He does this when he's higher up the pitch because he wants to off-balance the attacker on their first touch. And he does this in the box because he recognises there's a bigger risk of them having a shot. This highlights his game intelligence already. This highlights his in-game intelligence, noticing the rhythm of the game. He's composed enough to stand off the attacker when he knows he's got control of the situation, or if he knows that an attacker can turn on him and maybe have a burst at goal. He's got that aggression to be proactive. It's no surprise to see that Mosquera is actually brilliant in the air. He makes a use of his strong athletic presence and superb athleticism to overpower markers. Under higher balls, he likes to get touch tight to his opponent and use his physical attributes to ensure they don't have the advantage when both dueling in the air. But what's really evident in his game, he's really adept at controlling these headers. And this is extremely rare in a young footballer. So what I mean by that is he often finds his central midfielders or a teammate to secure possession. This level of detail in his heading also makes him a threat in attacking situations, but also a safety valve in defensive situations. Aside from his terrific defending, I think another unique aspect of his game is his ability on the ball. And I think this is exactly why Aston Villa are interested. He's extremely composed and at ease with the ball at his feet. He's got wonderful technical ability, almost like a central midfielder. So despite being really comfortable in possession, he's even got an impressive passing range. He's more than just a reassurance presence for midfielders to recycle possession. Mosquera plays progressive passes out of defence. He's happy to play vertical balls into midfield or chip longer passes in behind from deep. But the best thing about this, he does this with a great degree of accuracy. So when you just think, given how often he's able to steal possession or win his duels, he's regularly the player that's in possession when turnovers happen. And given how regularly he's so accurate with his passing and forward thinking and ambitious, This will be exciting times for Aston Villa to transition through the lines more fluidly and expressively. His switches of play in long balls into midfield are extremely dangerous. This just changes the point of direction, and he does it quite often. Even though he's extremely comfortable with the ball at his feet, he very rarely steps into midfield with it. He definitely prefers to pass rather than carry the ball forward. But on the other hand, when space is afforded, he still has the initiative to move forward, build momentum before releasing the ball. But what I'm trying to say is you'll not see him going on long, mazy, long dribbles through the heart of the pitch. But as you've probably seen from the clips, he's got a lot of time on the ball. He's got a lot of space around him. In the Premier League or even at Real Union, he won't get this sort of time and space afforded to him. So he's just going to have to learn to move the ball quicker and adapt to the sharpness of each league. But again, that'll come with experience, and I'm sure you'll be able to adapt his own game depending on the league he's playing in. I understand this is a signing for the future, but I can see exactly what Unai Emery has in mind. He wants more ball dominance and the ability to play through the lines a lot quicker. And that's exactly what Mosquera brings, because his ability to pick out longer balls and eliminate the first and second line of press is unbelievable. This, therefore, just gets Aston Villa playing higher up the pitch. So it's worth noting that he has the ability to break through the lines, whether that be finding the feet of an attacker, launch through balls behind for an attacker to run onto, or just switch the play. Now, this sets us up perfectly moving into areas for an improvement, because this kind of forcefulness and forward-thinking ambition on the ball is unbelievable, but will it always pull off in the Premier League? I don't think so. Sometimes it's okay and better to play through the lines through short and intricate passes. And in terms of defensively, where I think he needs to improve, I think he's really impressive in how he lowers his stance and jockeys opponents, but he needs to be a bit more side on. At times, he gets caught too flat-footed and squared on. And against elite dribblers in the Premier League, like a Jeremy Doku, for example, just off the top of my head, he will get caught out in these situations. So he just needs to learn to adjust his body to be more side on and force the ball away from goal. And sometimes his lack of aggression when coming up against dribblers. And finally, on the defensive side, sometimes he struggles to shift his weight to the right-hand side if an opponent quickly moves the ball down that side. He's far better at defending on his left-hand side. And that comes naturally because he's left-footed. So when somebody looks to take him on the outside, on the right-hand side, he needs to have a more open body. Sometimes he's far too square on. Can prove an issue. But I really do think Aston Villa have hit a diamond in the rough here. He's a real leader on the pitch. He's a commanding presence. And it seems like he's just going from strength to strength. And he's got a great understanding of the game that few players his age would kill for. I think a move to the Premier League instantly is a bit too soon for him. But a player with this quality undoubtedly can be a success in the Premier League in the future. Attribute-wise, he's got the hallmarks of a terrific centre-back. There's another Aston Villa episode down, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, again, don't forget to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on another episode. Once again, I just want to say I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for watching.